When I talk about competing in bobsled and taking part, people often ask the why. It's freezing cold, it takes a lot of time, it's very intensive on the body, it's very intensive mentally. There's no support from SASCOC or structures or anything like that. Why do you want to do it? It can't just be because you're an adrenaline nut. Getting involved in bobsled also sent me out of the comfort zone that I'd built up. I'd spent 15 years getting used to my prosthetics, getting used to being fully mobile and capable and walking around, not using crutches, not having a wheelchair unless it was at home. And I jumped into a sport where winter means that me walking around is actually not an option, because the ice and things with my above knee amputation makes it really difficult to walk in those situations. So the headspace of that was a massive adjustment. It left me doubting myself to some degree, because all the things and success and things that I had done to get to that point didn't really matter in this situation, in this environment, and in some degrees in the sport as well. I was a complete novice. But there are bigger goals here. There are bigger goals for me personally, to chase that Paralympic dream of getting there, of making a story. My father went to the games at 50. Maybe I can get to the games. Maybe I can get there before I'm 50 as well. So the reasons for doing it, the whys, come down to the goals. I'm part of a big system. I'm willing to sacrifice what needs to be sacrificed to take on fears and things that I maybe am not good at or confident about. I'm willing to approach all of them, because the goal is to get the sport to the games, and the goal is to hopefully get myself to the games, to live up to thoughts and dreams and ideas that have floated around my brain for the last 20 years. So people ask me, what is Parabob? What is it about? Well, Parabobsled is bobsledding, except we're obviously disabled. The range of disabilities that are involved are multiple. It's paralysis, spina bifida, amputation, a variety. Male and female also compete against each other in the same event. So that's a benefit of the sport, in that there's not a lot of classification and it is available to everybody. We are piloting a monobob, so we are the only people in the bobsled. We are in charge of getting it down from the top to the bottom. The piloting is done by controlling D-rings. You will have one on each hand, and you pull towards you in order to get it to steer. In bobsled, you have a brakeman or brake person who would be the pusher. Somebody who will push and then jump into the sled. We don't have that. We have a mechanical launcher, which is a hydraulic arm that is calibrated to send everybody off at the same kind of speed and velocity. So the sport is very open and equal. We have competitors from 15 nations, but 12 have been there from the beginning. So for the last 4 years, there have been 12 nations competing, and that's part of the qualification criteria that we need. All 12 of those competitors have to compete every year for the 4 years in the build-up to us getting our qualification spot within the Paralympic Games. When you're starting a sport, or if you're trying to get good at a sport, there's generally things that you try and do in off-season or in preparation so that you can improve and aim for the results that you want. But in bobsled, as a person from South Africa, I don't have any of those options at all. Essentially, my only opportunities for in the build-up to the season are to watch YouTube videos of the tracks that I'm going to be going to, so that I can understand what some of the other sliders are doing. Even in that, you generally don't see monobob in the able-bodied sliding, so I'm looking at the two-person, trying to get some idea of lines that they would take, trying to understand the track and remember left, right in the course to get down, and giving myself some basic understanding of things. But the challenge is always for me to arrive in winter and arrive on the track and to basically just get in and go. Initially, I got down, and you deal with the speed and the adrenaline and the fear of it, but I hadn't had a big crash. But the second you have a big crash, you also realize, wow, okay, this is real, this is legitimate. And going 120 or 120 plus and getting it wrong has big consequences. For us, it means you're going to end up on your side or upside down. We're held in. You do have a strap holding you into the sled, but the ice is in front of your face, and the noise is incredible when you go over the wrong way. You're getting thrown around in the sled. Your helmet is hitting the ice. When you reach the end of it, you will have 5-10 people running up to hold your sled. You will have a paramedic coming up to you asking you if you're okay. You will have to go through a concussion test. Like, it gets very serious very quickly, and that was something that I had to get my head around in managing the fear. I think all of us do when we're doing it, and then getting a control of that fear. You've got a minute, you want a clear head, you want to know that you're going to get to the bottom, that you're going to drive and pilot the best way possible and be in the top. That's the headspace that you have to slide with. If you slide like, I'm worried I'm going to crash, you're guaranteed you're going to crash. I've had cracked ribs, bruised ribs, slight concussion, although I didn't think it was a concussion at the time. Your hands and elbows get thrown around in the sled, and you might hit something metal or carbon, causes bruises. Then we have the interesting stories where you have obviously people who are paralyzed in the sled, and they've gone down, they've gone over, taken a fall, crashed, whatever it is, and they don't feel that something has happened. But we've had situations where we get a WhatsApp message to the group 3 weeks after the event to say, hey guys, I didn't realize it, but I actually broke my ankle in that crash I had, and I've been sliding with a broken ankle for 3 weeks. And everyone makes light of it because of our injuries and our disabilities, and it's something that we're used to. But it's pretty intense. Despite all of those things, despite the injuries and the challenges and all of those, everybody, including me, generally has the same frame of reference and the same way we look at it. It's that we want to achieve something. There is the group goals of the Paralympics, and there are the individual goals, and every individual wants to do well and they want to compete, and so none of us are going to let the injuries or the challenges stop us. We're not going to quit. We're going to do everything we can to achieve that and keep going. I've joked with my dad quite a lot since I got into bobsled about getting to the games and the Paralympics, and that there's a chance that I'm going to be just younger than him if I make it. And that's been a play on things with my dad for a while, about the Olympics and his having gone there, and I'm trying to get there, and what a cool story and legacy that would be. But again, it might not happen. And so one of the things that I've done to connect myself to my dad and to the games and to that story is with my kit. So I don't have any sponsors or kit supplied by South Africa or SASCOC. So what I did is, for all of my races, I've used my dad's Olympic jersey that he got issued for the 1992 Barcelona Games as my sliding jersey, to show that I represent my country and to represent my dad and my family, and to have that connection with them. So yeah, that's been one of my secrets and my things that help me, remember everybody and hold them with me when I'm sliding down the ice, is that jersey and knowing that my dad and I have a connection.